Bushbacher. I'm from Chicago. Born and raised here, 89 birth year. Pretty sure I'm a little bit younger than Brandon. But yeah, so went to play Tier 2 junior hockey in Aurora in the Ontario Junior League at the time. Played AAA for the Chicago Fury program, great program out of the South Side here in Chicago. So after the Ontario Junior League, went and played 2 years at Lake Forest College, NCAA Division III, about 20 minutes from home, and then transferred after my sophomore year to Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. Got a degree there in political science. Wanted to be a lawyer, but then decided that I wanted to give pro hockey a go for a year or two, and that turned into 7, now going on 8 years. So I can't say I was too well to stick into the timeline, but kicked around in the SPHL for a little bit, Central Hockey League, East Coast Hockey League, and then I've been in Europe parts of the past 5 years. So Hungary, Romania, France, Sweden. So yeah, been all over the place. So obviously, as with everywhere in the world right now, a lot of uncertainty, pretty scary times, but we're under shelter in place here, so basically just allowed to leave your house to go walk your dog or go outside and go for a run or go to the grocery store, go to the hospital, go to a doctor. So yeah, we're pretty much shut in here. But I still think that, and I've mentioned this to a couple people before, but this is a time of tremendous opportunity. So a lot of people are going to use this time as a sort of a moment to maybe get away from some of the good habits that they've formed during the year or during years prior. So I think even more so now, it's important for young players or older players to make sure that you're staying into your routines as much as you can, making sure you're doing your stick handling, shooting your pucks, keeping your body in shape, going for your runs, but obviously practicing social distancing and all that stuff. But making sure you're staying on top of it, because there's a lot of people, sadly, who won't do these things, and this is one way you can really differentiate yourself from the crowd here.
Yeah, I agree. I see on Instagram, being a business hockey account, I see all these players posting their workouts, their hockey training, but even just other type of training with other sports, whether it be throwing the ball around with mom or dad or brother, sister, or soccer ball, juggling, all that type of stuff. And it's awesome to see everyone staying active, because it is, at the end of the day, very important to stay active daily, rather than kind of sitting around. I know there's been coaches, older players, mentioning that sometimes it's great to take a break. And, when we're talking, it has to do with everyone as a whole in general, where I think everyone kind of needs to ask themselves questions and self-reflect, and then they can kind of get their answers. I 100% believe in the answers that you just gave, where players need to keep those good habits and stay on top of it. Because, when you get too complacent, especially mentally, you could see yourself continuing those habits going into when, hopefully, once our daily lives get back to normal, or even the shutdown gets lifted and we can start doing more. But I've had other coaches talk about, this is a great time to take a break. And they're right. I'm like, yeah, because some junior players and some of these other players have gone through, whether it's 50, 60, 70, and some are 80 game seasons. Yeah, you want to take a break. But you have to ask yourself how long that break is. Some players, I mean, like yourself, I think you only take like a few days. Maybe.
Yeah.
And I personally like to take at least sometimes 2 weeks, given on that type of schedule and all that. But sometimes it's been 4 weeks before. You kind of need to ask yourself that. And when you do get back to training, on ice or off ice, you got to be giving her 100%, and you're mentally got to be in it to make it worthwhile and efficient to get to those next levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that you mentioned is you like to take a couple weeks off, or 2 weeks, I believe it was. And for me, that's no different. I like to take a couple weeks off the ice, but I'm a firm believer that you really can't take a break from all physical activity. You can use this time to work on the imbalances. Like you said, some guys have played 80 games this year. So now's a great time to work on getting the mobility back in the hips and the ankles, and maybe if you had some injuries to kind of do your rehabilitation for that. But I think it's all individual. You have to address the needs that you as a player have, um, and kind of gauge where your mental gas meter is, if you will. If you're kind of burned out, then by all means, take a couple days, because you need to be fresh, you need to be ready to rock. But if
Yeah.
you feel that you're in a position to get at it, I mean, there's no time like the present to go out there. And like I said, I think a lot of people are using this time really well, shooting the pucks and working with the Green Biscuits. I actually work with a AAA organization back here, 2008s, 2009s, and 2010s, and we just sent out an off ice program for the boys, and the parents have been sending in videos of the kids working hard, and you love to see that and pushing each other, and I think that's how you can use this time. Obviously, a lot of real serious things going on, but maybe one of the things that can help bring us together here and kind of reinvigorate the community and the hockey community as a whole is seeing other people working and kind of banding around this thing that is all positive in our lives, and at a time we really need that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, social media. We're all connected now, whether in Australia, in Germany, Denmark, France, where you play, wherever. Just like what we're doing right now, we're connected, and it's good that we're influencing each other. And it's basically just sets up the culture of competing against each other without really even thinking about that,
Yeah,
and it just makes us all better, really.
no, for
So,
sure.
so it's really good influence, just like what yourself and what I would like to pass on to these kids, is influencing to stay active, number one, and
Yeah.
number two, if they want to hit those goals and dreams with their hockey, or even as athletes, we want to push them there.